All right, that's us. Timothy, Haimona. Another episode, 30, ladies and gentlemen, crazy. Sunday the 5th of October 2025, we are in beautiful Kōrero, Aotearoa, New Zealand. And I've got another beautiful guest sitting here with me, the Hitman. How are we doing today?
Good. It's good to be here. Finally.
Finally.
Yeah, we made it.
That was probably supposed to happen like a wee while ago.
Yeah.
But,
Wow.
Oh my God, you have no idea. Like we talked about this before and life got in the way.
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
In the end of the day, we're sitting here. We made time.
Yeah.
It's been a rocky road. Episode 30, life has happened for you, for me. But let's get into it. I put down as like our framework for today, father, fighter, friend. But before I say anything, Timothy Stevens, for all your media requirements, if you have anything that you want to get done, hit him up.
Nailed it.
Worked hard on like keeping that in mind. But Haimona, please introduce yourself, full name, why the Hitman, what do you do, what you all about. Take it away, please.
Yeah, so my name's Haimona Tamati, born and bred Whanganui, which is about 4.5 hours south of here. Grew up on the river, had a lot to do with my marae, which is kawaiki, hunter-gatherer when I was back down there. And then 4.5 years ago I moved up to Hamilton, to the Waikato, for my now wife and children. So I've got 6 children total. I have 3, she has 3. Or she has 5 technically. But yeah, father, fighter. I make a point of saying father first because that is my one true passion.
That's how
my
I
one true
put
job. Yeah, and that's what's most important to me, is being a father. Yeah.
You are indeed a family man. Do you want to, at least so the fighter aspect is important, to give us some of your credentials, records, and a bit of context there as well?
Yeah. So I'm a professional Muay Thai fighter. I started training, my old man, my father, started training me at the age of 4. Moved to a real gym at the age of 7. And then my first proper fight at 14. And I've been fighting since then. I've had over 50 fights total. I think 54 now. But then my adult record is 27-6. Got the New Zealand Muay Thai Federation title, cruiserweight title, and then the World Kickboxing Association world title as well, and then a bunch of other youth titles. But yeah, they stay in the closet, those ones.
Why the Hitman though? That was one of the main questions that, when I released it on the social media, that people wanted to know or were unsure about it, which I was surprised because some of them from your team, and I was like, why did you never ask him?
Yeah, so Hitman, it was after my first fight. I knocked the guy out in 32 seconds. And they were asking, like all my team were asking me why I was so intense. And I was like, because I love Liam Harrison, the Hitman.
Oh.
And so from there, they're like, oh, we're going to start calling you the Hitman. And so from, age 14, it's just kind of stuck with me. And like being so young, I never really introduced I never really had that identity. It wasn't until I started fighting some bigger opponents. And once I turned 18, essentially, that's when I adopted it a bit more. And then, when I won my first adult title, that's when it stuck. Yeah.
Definitely stuck with me. I don't know about you, but Liam Harrison, mate, honestly, I just watched some footage on him recently, just, Muay Thai and like keeping, I guess, an eye on the scene overall, won championship or like
Yeah.
kickboxing with. It's so hard to like keep track these days because there's so much martial arts related or mixed martial arts related, I should say, you know, like combat karate, 1FC, they have like some good concepts, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you know, like absolutely exploding, even with, you know, wrestling is getting quite big, you know, with competitive matches and whatnot, plus UFC, Bellator, list goes on, you know,
Yeah.
Arsenal X, like what another concept, you know, to follow through. But yeah, man, he is, how old is he in Harrison? 40?
Yeah, he'd be
40? No,
yeah.
he's turning 40, I think. Isn't
Yeah,
he?
I think he's 40 now, if not turning 40.
The intensity that he still trains
Yeah,
with.
exactly.
Honestly, incredible. But enough of him. This is about you. Yes, let's. I reckon let's keep that pathway with we go father, fighter, and then of course the friendship came in because you train out of the House of Pain, which Ethan Shep is the head coach, but they train out of the core mixed martial arts facility in Hamilton, New Zealand. So
Yeah.
this is how I got to know you. This is how I got to know you, and you actually helped him to get ready for his Alta amateur fight, which I ended up cornering as well. It's
Yeah.
crazy, yeah, how this all comes about, but. Yeah, here we are now. I guess friends chatting about this, which is really cool, you know, makes it a lot easier for all of us. But let's go with father first. And I want to link this back to the previous episode with Cameron, actually, from Elemental Coaching. If you haven't watched it, you got to watch it. Anywho, he dropped a really cool quote while we were having this like beautiful kōrero on home needs to be good before everything else to make anything else work, so to say. And since you already, you know, highlighted the constellation, the complex constellation of your homely environment, you know, it is unique, I guess.
Yeah.
How do you manage? Like, how is because there's a lot of, I guess, co-parenting going on while you have your own kids.
Yeah.
That is, I'm assuming, a challenge for you, so it is for her. Making it all work together. So maybe we start with the constellation at home. How do you find the balance there with the co-parenting? And maybe you can link that also a little bit to your upbringing and the values and things that you bring to the table that you think are important for her and your kids. Well, or your kids, but I leave that up to you.
Yeah, so just to provide a bit of context, I had my son when I was 19, or fell pregnant when I was 19, and had him when I was 20. And so at that time I was young, inexperienced, as everyone always is, especially coming into fatherhood. But for me it was always trying to give him that upbringing that I had, essentially. And then instilling the values that I was taught into him and now all my other children as well.
Would you mind sharing those while we're amongst it? Do you have specifics?
So the biggest ones that stuck with me throughout adulthood, or from childhood right through to adulthood, is determination and consistency. So for me, I grew up watching my parents excel in sport. Both mum and dad were martial artists. Dad holding black belts in Kyokushin, Zendu Kai and Ninjutsu, and then doing kickboxing as well. And so just the sheer determination that I saw in him to achieve it's always stuck with me, and that's always something that will. And that's one of the things that I will always tell my kids or push my kids for, is to keep consistent. If you don't like it now, or if you're not passionate about it, you're not going to be consistent with it. So do something you're passionate about, and I'll always support you. And then, so that, I guess it kind of segues into the determination aspect and consistency. Just constantly showing up on the days you don't like it.
Yeah.
Because there's always going to be obstacles. There's always going to be things that happen in life, and you just, if it's something you love, you're going to turn up and you're going to keep doing it. And so it's something I try to nurture with my kids, and something that I hope they see with me as well. Waking up in the early mornings and making sure I'm getting to training, crossing the T's, dotting the I's.
Have you had it before with like the kids where they don't want to go to training one day? How do you manage that?
I tell them, I try and say to them that you chose this for a reason, you wanted to do this for a reason, so try and think of that, try and get that feeling back. Why you pestered Mum and I to take you to training or sign you up for sport, because there's a lot of admin that goes behind it, and children, I'm guilty of it too, you don't appreciate the effort that your parents put in to get you to
Agreed, yeah.
all your extracurriculars. And so it's just trying to get them back onto, you wanted us to bring you here, why? And then they're like, oh, because my friend's playing and it's fun, I like kicking a ball or I like punching things. It's just trying to reignite that passion or their why. And it works.
Cool.
Yeah.
So maybe was there a conversation that you can vividly remember that took place between your parents and you, as far as it comes to you're going to do this or you're not going to do this? And anything from that conversation that you took into the chats that you have with them now?
So
Yes. The answer is yes.
Yeah. So my parents were high achievers when it came to sport. They played for New Zealand. Mum played New Zealand for New Zealand in rugby, touch, and basketball.
Jesus.
Dad played for Singapore and New Zealand in touch, and then obviously excelled in martial arts. And so growing up, my first passion was basketball. So they pushed me for basketball, and I made the New Zealand under-14s when I was 12. And that involved training every day, similar to what I do now. Training every day, running 5Ks, which I know in the scheme of things isn't very far, but as a 12-year-old running 5Ks every day and being pushed and being told my time needs to be better if I want to get better, that's what stuck with me. And a conversation that my parents had is I didn't want to go for my run. I just wanted to stay at home and watch TV.
Eat Fruit Loops.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
essentially, yeah. That, like being a 12-year-old, I just wanted to have a break. And my parents sat me down and they were like, we've put a lot of time and effort into you, not to mention the money. And so for me, it was kind of a guilt trip, but it was also an eye-opener, that because they broke it down for me, the cost of going to each training camp. It was $300-$400 for a training camp, and then to go overseas to play was another $3,500 just for me. And my parents, they want to be there for me when I play, especially on like a national team, and so they paid for their flights and their rental cars and accommodation. And so I think all up, me playing just that 1 year was about $10,000, and back then that like even now that's a lot of money, but back then 16 years ago it wasn't exactly times being easy for money. So it put things into perspective. Like I'm putting in the work, I'm training, but my parents also have to do what they do as well. And they're not going to do it for nothing. It's unfair of me to expect them to just keep forking out and me not put in the effort.
Funny enough, us sitting here now, we're all nodding. It's like, oh yeah, can relate, or I see a reason within. But back then, we would probably all react the same way, like, oh, I don't want to go, or not understanding it properly, and not valuing it as much, you know. But now, you know, you can install it in your whānau, and you do it with your boys too, because it's not a secret with having a bigger family, or, you know, you're looking after your boys in a beautiful manner, that there's a lot of costs involved, you know, and driving to all the different, they all play different sports, have different friends, have different, you know, need different gear, whatever that might be. So I think it's important, you know, to try and make them aware of, you know, what you sacrifice for that as well. I see a lot of good in that.
Yeah, and it was hard because my family weren't well off, but my parents did what they needed to make sure I didn't miss out on opportunities like that. And for me, being so young, I was often ungrateful for, like, I didn't have the best shoes, best or coolest looking shoes. I didn't have shoes that he had. I didn't have the same ball as him. I didn't have the same bag. You know, I started comparing myself. And I see that with my kids now, like, they're doing the same thing. And so for me, it's hard to be able to parent that because I know what they were thinking. For me, it's just like what my parents did, putting it into perspective. But it's a lot easier because we've got such a big family. I can say, look, we're spending this much on all of you kids. We don't want you to feel like you're missing out, but the alternative is you miss out completely. We're doing what we can to make sure you...
Fair.
We're compromising. Compromising
Giving
parenting.
them options.
Yeah.
You do this. You're a professional. So, hey, you have to do this. It's either this or this. You pick.
It's just a side question. Like, who was your favorite player back then in the NBA, most likely?
No, well, that's the thing. Like, even with fighting now and, like, all the sports I played, I didn't watch it. I never really watched basketball. I never kept up with it. It was just something I just did. I played.
Interesting. So even nowadays, no player in the NBA where you're like, I resonate with this?
No, well, now I just don't have time to sit down and watch anything.
You certainly don't have time, no. What position did you play?
In
Basketball?
I was point guard or
I should have said, like, I had it on my lips to say, you're probably a point guard.
Yeah, well,
I can see you having good strategic, like, vision, like distributing the ball.
Yeah.
Being the captain, because I think that's what you are now of, you know, the House of Pain. Since most likely, and I say this with the utmost respect, because I don't actually know if Carlos retired for good.
Yeah, I don't know. He still comes. Carlos
Hicks, by the way.
The Flying Fijian.
The Flying Fijian. I would feel bad now explaining who that is, because you should, like, whoever's listening, do your homework.
They should know.
He is the man, no matter what. And you know, there's a few other candidates and, like, really good fighters that don't get me. No disrespect to anyone there, but I feel like you're the captain. Anyhow.
Yeah. On that, like, Carlos Hicks, he still comes in. He's still an inspiration to all the boys, all the fighters in House of Pain. He set the standard for us.
He came to watch the sparring, like, on Saturday, and I think the whole level in the room just went up one. Just by him, I don't think he did much rather than just watching a little bit.
Yeah.
His presence alone is crazy, the aura that he brings to the table.
Just sits there, and then you know you have to perform.
Yeah.
He'll take the piss out.
Well, he watches.
Yeah.
Don't think he's not watching. He's watching.
Yeah, he might be looking this way, but he's got eyes at the back of his head, and he'll pull you up on anything that you like, any mistake you make. So it's good to have him in when he does come in.
The conversation between your parents and yourself back then, conversations now happening.
Yeah.
But what was the crossroads, and I think this is going to be a reoccurring thing throughout today's conversation, what was the crossroads from you saying, or not continuing with the basketball, and then merging eventually, like, fully into fighting?
So I had a scholarship to the States. I had 5 scholarships lined up for me to go over to the States and play. And my first tournament I played the year I was meant to go, I dislocated my knee, and there were conditions on the scholarships as I had to send videos of me playing every game. And yeah, the first game I played, dislocated my knee, and I was out for 6 months, and they pulled the scholarships because I wasn't holding up my end of sending footage through.
Would you say, even though like you just enjoyed, like playing, you didn't watch it and whatnot, was the goal to make it to the NBA or to the draft? Or
yeah, that was the ultimate goal. Yeah, and I guess again it comes back to my parents didn't want to do anything half-assed, wanted to achieve or take it as far as I could. So the effort wasn't in vain. Yeah.
Can't do much about dislocated knee.
Yeah, exactly. And so yeah, had surgery. They actually prioritised the surgeries for me, just because I was an aspiring athlete.
wow.
Yeah. So I think I had a 2-day wait from when I dislocated it to surgery. Yeah. And then the surgeon ended up butchering it. He left bone and cartilage in my knee. So there were like foreign bodies just floating around. And so when I thought I was good, started playing again, it was locking up. And then, yeah, saw that there were like bone and cartilage fragments just floating around in my knee. And so, yeah, I knew I wasn't going to be able to take basketball any further just because my age was getting on. And so I was like, oh, well, might as well do something else that I've grown up doing. And, yeah, that's when fighting came back in. Yeah.
Do you have repercussions or anything in the knee now?
No issues with my knee now. The surgeon said of around 35, mid-30s, that's when I'll have problems. But again, that's future. That's future problems.
Future problems to deal with.
Yeah, hopefully they've come up with something that, with technology now, they'll have something that kind of mitigates that. But again, like you said, future me's problem.
Who knows by that time,
Yeah.
even whatever is possible with replacements or...
Yeah, exactly.
You never know. It's already pretty crazy what you can do. But okay, we went a little bit through, as a father, the constellation at home, linking this back to your upbringing, the conversations you're having now about like sports, being determined and being consistent, having those values installed. Again, maybe to bring this up one more time, is how much do you think, or how important it is for your kids in particular, let's stick with yours, that they play any type of sport, or would you be happy with anything recreational, or as long as they do something they'll be happy with, or would you put like an emphasis on like I would like you to do sports?
Yeah, I want to give my kids the same upbringing as me. I'd love for them to play sport. I'm not too phased on what sport it was. I just want them to be active.
Do you want to maybe break it down quickly what they are involved in?
So at the moment, our eldest, he's 15. He plays basketball, and he's just wanted to start getting into boxing. Our girl, she's 12, 12. She plays basketball and netball, but wants to play touch as well, but that'll be a seasonal thing. Our boy, he's 10. He plays soccer and basketball. And then our 8-year-old plays basketball and touch. And then our girl, she's 4. She just loves to run around. And then my son, he's only 1. He started following in my footsteps and just hitting things.
Hey, well, how can you not?
So hopefully there's hope.
Wow, what an active family.
Very active, man.
Yeah.
The calendar must be insane.
Yeah.
How do you manage between you and her? Like, there's probably not just a sheet on the fridge.
Yeah. A lot of the time we have to, or I'll compromise. as long as I get a training in, it doesn't matter if it's class or if it's after class. As long as I get something in, I'm happy to drop that just so I can take the kids, be there for them. Yeah, because I loved it when my parents came to my sports games, so I'll try to be there for them. Wow. If the wife wants to be there, then I'll just say, sweet, I'll stay home with the other kids. You go watch them. Yeah.
Incredible.
Teamwork.
Yeah.
Teamwork, the amount of sacrifice and communication and just overall planning that goes into that seems unreal. That's like organizing or leading like a small company. Just to look after the little employees and what they do and what they... Wow. So much respect, honestly. And then still see you turning up on a regular, consistent basis, getting in the training, competing at the highest level.
It's massive.
That is out the gate. But we went from weaving co-parenting, explain upbringing, importance of sports. How about the power of like, do you have certain habits that you just keep that you think are super important that you also install into your kids? Like some particular?
No, I wouldn't say habits of mine. I guess it kind of depends on if I'm in fight camp or not, because that's when the eating changes. I think that's about it. And our eldest boy, he often looks to me to say, "Oh, is this okay to eat?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're young, your body's like,
Going through the calories.
Yeah, going through it, it's burning through it. So you're fine." And he's like, "Oh, what if I eat this? Will I get bigger?" Or
well, if he eats it consistently.
Yeah, exactly. But again, it just comes down to consistency.
Those are good conversations to be having. Nutrition.
Yeah, and I think they're often overlooked.
Massively.
Yeah, especially like we are bad for it at times. Like we'll come home after a hard day of work. I'll come home after training, and it's like, should we just get Uber? Or should we get DoorDash? But I think, again, it's fortunate that there are different options other than just Macca's.
I don't think there's any other way rather than maybe living with your in-laws that could maybe help with the cooking and whatnot. There's so many mouths to feed. Apart from the financial impact, just like the cooking admin, that it would take to provide consistent meals, quality. So I wouldn't blame you for ordering every once in a while.
Well, that's what it comes down to. Like once a week, we'll do it definitely. But we've got a good system in it. We only implemented it this year by writing a chart of what we're going to have for dinner each night, and then we'll just do a big shop on Sunday, and then midweek just to kind of get
top up.
School snacks and.
What's for dinner tonight?
Probably Uber.
Right, it's alright every once in a while.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe let's dive into the maintaining discipline, because we went from fatherhood to the fighting. It is a crossroads, like once you have children, once you have like more responsibilities and, your energy just goes, not just in one, not just in two, you have a relationship with each individual one, then a relationship with your wife, a relationship with yourself. There's a lot of moving parts here. So talk about how this is possible rather than just, okay, we communicate a lot, we plan a lot. Any other things that you would like to contribute this to?
For me, I think this wouldn't be possible without sacrifice. Not only me, but the wife as well. She has to sacrifice what she does. Like she wants to have a life as well,
Funny, we haven't spoken about what does she do to make her happy. Is she playing any sports as well?
No, she goes to the gym every now and then when she has the energy, which is why, again, it comes down to sacrifice. I've had to pull out of a few fights just so that she can do what she wants, because I've noticed when I'm in fight camp, it becomes all about me.
Yes.
I need to train, I need to be here at this time, I'm going to be 2, maybe 3 hours, doing class, and then the extras after class, sauna, ice bath, recovery, all that sort of thing. And so, I've had to pull a few fights because I can see it wears on her, being at home with all the kids. yeah, just I get home and I can see it on her, and so it's like, okay, now's not the best time for me to fight.
So-
I'll still go train because that helps me regulate everything. But yeah, it just means I don't fight, and I've come to terms with that. Yeah, as much as it's a big and hard pill to swallow, having to pull out of a fight, but yeah, end of the day, I can fight as much as I want, but the wins aren't as special if there's no one there to celebrate them with.
That was the reason why father was first out of your mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
What a quote. There's no reason to do it because there's no one to celebrate it with afterwards.
Yeah.
Wow. That's one to take home for me. Definitely.
I'll timestamp that one.
Yes, please do so, because that is, you know, like, we're sitting here, even the people watching, listening, you know, you try to understand, you know, how that must feel, you know, just the homely environment of, you have your own children, you know, your partner brings in children, you have children together, you know, you both go to work. I mean, do you want to speak on what you actually do for a living and how that on top would impact, you know, the whole situation and show us what type of person you are. So please, I think it would be a good time to tap into that a little bit before we move on.
Yeah, so I'm a police officer. Been in 6.5 years. Started my career back home in Whanganui, and then moved up 4.5 years ago, and been policing in Huntly and Hamilton.
And she is?
And she's also a police officer. We met in police college. And then, it was one of those relationships where, because we lived 4.5 hours apart, we didn't actually know if it was going to work. But yeah, we made it work. So our roster was, you work 6 shifts, 2 early shifts, 2 late shifts, and then 2 night shifts. Your night shifts start at 9:30 at night and finish 6:30 in the morning. So after my and then you get 4 days off.
Right.
So after my last night shift, 6:30, I'd leave Whanganui, drive up, have I might sleep halfway, and then I'll drive up. And it worked out well because her last night shift was my first day off, so we got 2-3 days together.
Put that into perspective now as well. On top of the family dynamics, both parents working and serving their communities, shift work, doing all of this together, and then you go and still come to training. That is legitimately crazy.
Yeah.
So if there's anyone out there blaming you to get Uber Eats tonight, they can.
Yeah. I'm sure there'll be a few people saying,
Or if
he gets it more than once.
Or if there's someone out there being like, oh, like when they think about, they have too much going on and they can't go train, like some of the 18, 19-year-olds,
all the
they
young
train
ones.
out of the team, be like, oh.
Perspective.
Yeah, exactly. If I'm showing up, there's no reason you shouldn't be.
Isn't that a catchphrase or like a saying that, there's, no matter what you go through, there's a mother out there, a single mother with 3 kids that does it with a cold sore right now?
Yeah.
Have you heard of that one?
I have not, but...
So stop complaining and harden up. Get it done.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add on here?
No, I think we've covered it, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then. We go crossroads again, because that's, like I said, the theme of today.
Yeah.
To stay relevant as like a fighter, as an athlete in today's modern day 21st century era, social media is, I guess, important, necessary. It's a blessing, it's a curse, it is a lot more, but, what we agreed on when we put this like somewhat blueprint together and having a conversation prior on, what is the direction that we want to take, is like, that's something that you put a high emphasis on. Please, can we talk about this?
Yeah.
Because it has an impact and an influence on all of us sitting here, if we agree or admit it or not. It does. We all spend time on it. I don't know a single person who doesn't, even though it's a restricted, like with a time limit and whatnot. We all consume it on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But it also, with all that impact and influence, can go two ways. It can have a positive or a negative. But this is entirely up to you now, how you want to go and run with this. I set the stage. Here's your platform. I've got a few things to add on, but speak on it, please, because that was something, even with mental health awareness, by the way, next week, Mental Health Awareness Week.
Yeah.
So, even more important. It's always important, but, do some cool little things. I don't know, remind people.
Yeah. Nah, social media, when I grew up, when I was growing up, there was always something. There was, what was it? There was Bebo, MySpace. Then came Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Everything kind of evolved, and it was only in a short time. And then a lot of people were able to capitalise on that and, make a living off it. Creating content videos, comedy videos. But then I found a lot of people comparing where they're at in their life to seeing someone overseas living some a luxurious lifestyle.
Yep.
And then they're thinking, oh, I'm not good enough. Why can't I have that life? It's not fair, and so that I've seen the negative side, especially with work, A lot of mental health has come from that. But then also, in the same sense, relationship drama gets posted, plastered all over social media, and then everyone that reads something like a relationship breakup, oh, he cheated on me, everyone from that goes over to this person and starts just berating them. And for me, having to deal with people that go through that, seeing the impacts that has on them, when it could just be a lie. People tend to take things out of context, but just run with it, or put their own twist to something that was just innocent. Oh, me and such aren't together anymore. Oh, he must have cheated on her. Oh, we'll run with that. Or, oh, I heard he got someone else pregnant. And again, it could just be all false, but people will just jump on that bandwagon and then start taking that and just, having a go at the other person. And it just puts people in a state of depression. You can't escape it because everyone's lives are on their phone. It's not like you can just turn it off. As nice as that would be, it's not realistic.
It is not, yeah.
It's basically like a room where we spend time talking, but one to one. I speak, then you speak, then I speak, then you speak. I often think about this in terms of children. What room would I be comfortable with my children spending time with other men that I don't know without me? That's what social media is.
Yeah.
Instagram, Snapchat, you have no idea who and what messages they're going to be listening to. I don't know about you, but I always genuinely be like, I know Coach Cam, I know Haimona, you can give my kid advice. You listen to what he says, because it's probably going to be very good. That's something that I can't give. You can find that. You can also find the other half as well.
Yeah, exactly. It is scary. And this day and age, with AI and everything's just scary. It's a scary time that we're in, especially when it comes to technology and social media. Kids are, my kids in particular, they'll start talking, I overhear conversations that they're having with each other, and I'm like, where did you hear that? Yeah. Is that even a word? And then it's another language for me as a parent, it's like, you shouldn't know what that is.
You say you should or you shouldn't?
You shouldn't.
They shouldn't know?
Yeah, they shouldn't know what things
I thought you were saying that, would I need to know what that means?
Yeah, well that's how I feel, but again,
Like slang words?
Yeah,
And tell me about gear.
Yeah, it's like yeah. So
I have no idea what that means,
yeah, neither.
to be fair.
It's like, where do you hear that from though?
Yeah.
Like, other than social media, like, I don't think mainstream TV is going to have anything like that.
Well, how did slang ever get created? Like scucks. I bet your parents were like, "What's
Yeah,
scucks?"
what's
You're like,
that?
"Dad, that's not even. You're not even scucks deluxe.
Yeah.
You don't even." But like, who started that? And before social media,
Yeah.
how did that snowball?
Yeah,
It's easier now. One
Yeah.
YouTube influencer says a word that everyone wants to follow.
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, it was, yeah.
One big word, or like that I would like to touch base on, a topic that came up very early when I like gave you here, you go with it, is the comparison.
Mm. Yeah.
That's usually a big one, you know. And I'm just trying to figure, you know, when you were 12 years old, not having shoes that you wanted to maybe play, or
Yeah.
that maybe enabled you to play a little better. I mean, even if it's placebo, you know,
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
just have them on, be like, oh, I feel so much better. I just, you know,
Yeah.
I can make that shot or whatever it might be. But you know, how you felt back then, and then what it does to you today. You know, like even maybe another police officer, how they live their lives. It's so much exposure is everywhere. What that can do, because it is the thief of joy after all.
Yeah.
You know. Do you want to speak on the comparison a bit more?
Yeah, so in terms of that, you know, we compare ourselves to everyone. You might not know it, but you're subconsciously thinking, oh, he's got a nice tattoo, or he's got better tattoos than I do. I don't like mine now. Or you might, yeah, or it could go another way, and it motivates you to be better. It motivates you to kind of push. And I think, like for me, when I'm on social media, I catch myself doing that sometimes.
I do too, mate.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah,
straight up. Of course, you know.
yeah.
Of course.
Like I see people traveling all over the world, and I'm like, "Fuck, I want that." You get sad about it because it's not you, but then it's like, well, what am I going to do about it? If I want it, it's not going to get handed to me. So I have to work my ass off to get there. And yeah, so that's all it is just biting down and knowing that when times are tough, they're not forever. And
It's all temporary, yes it is.
yeah, everything's temporary.
I think about the comparison a lot, actually. You touched on it right before. It can inspire you, especially with athletes, because you said before it's the making a name, it builds your reputation, people want a story. It's the new part of sports that I think a lot of athletes are starting to catch on to now.
Yeah.
Seeing other athletes' content inspires you to be like, oh, I'm going to do this, because it's quite a scary thing for a lot of guys. They get quite nervous on camera, or they tell themselves a story that, oh, I can't create, I'm a real good at fighter, but I can't do that, and then it's a lie. Then they see other fighters doing it, and then maybe they think, oh, I could do it, so then you start doing it, and then you show the other fighters in the gym, like, hey, you can do that. That was a cool video. If he can do that, I can do that, because we kick the same. Or, you know, like, then there's a positive flow-on effect that allows people to develop their voice, so to speak.
Yeah.
What a blessing and a curse that thing is.
Yep.
100%. One thing we can all agree on is there needs to be more education into children about the use of this tool.
Yeah.
Not just children, even adult education.
Yes.
You know, it's the exposure and what that can do to you is absolutely, it's crazy. There's no other word to put it, you know, and we have all access to it, to like everything and anything, you know. The internet is like, whatever it is, it's out there. To give you perspective, or a friend of mine is self-employed, you know, works his own business, and he sent me a video recently of him just addressing something in English, and I was like, send a message back to him on like, I don't know what app it was, WhatsApp. It's like, man, you worked on your English, like you living overseas. I think he was in Bali and then somewhere in South America, maybe Brazil. It's like, it's crazy, you know, like it seems like you really put in the time and effort. That whole video was AI generated.
Really?
So translated the lips and everything. And I thought it was my friend that I've been knowing for almost 10 years speaking to me, showing me his product.
Yeah.
Or like what he created to, like, you know, it was for one of his businesses to address. He doesn't even speak fluent English. Well, he does, but not to that extent that I was seeing. And I fully bought into it.
Really?
And I would I'm not the golden standard again, but I would consider myself as someone that I'm fairly sharp, I'm reasonable.
Yeah.
I'd be like, pick up on it. I did not at all.
Like
That freaked me out. And I was like, if I fall for this, someone that has a certain mature, to a degree, you know, like age, and you know, has their shit together in a certain manner, you know, like how is someone that is completely uneducated, or how do they deal with such a, like, you can fall for anything.
Yeah.
That made me like step back a little bit. I had to put the phone down and be like, when he told me, I felt scared, you know, not a panic attack, but I was like, that is so scary. And I've been bragging this to all my friends, you know, like, just be careful with your consumption, you know, is similar to what food you eat, you know, the people that you surround yourself with. It's the same with this, like the diet, the media diet, maybe call it that.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Mate, crazy, honestly.
Applications. I wonder how that's going to impact your job,
Yeah.
crime and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
I cannot even imagine the shit that sorry to say it that like straightly, but the stuff that you have seen throughout your work days in that career span already. Yeah. You said, there's a few things I don't want to, I'm not going to say, regardless, but there's a few times like I sat in the car afterwards and I was like, holy heck, like just imagine, and then go home to your family, kids, whatever, to your normal life, like the amount of respect you deserve, you know, doing so. Same with teachers is probably no different, you know.
Yeah.
First responders, list goes on.
Yeah, there's, for me, like the police is a thankless job. And like I might as well address it now. Like police, we don't really speak up. Things that we go to, jobs that we attend, things we see, we don't talk about it to everyone, you know. It's stuff that we internalize. I think I'm just fortunate with the wife being a police officer as well. Like I can talk to her a bit more freely than if I was with someone that wasn't in the police, because you know you don't want to traumatize your partner as well or your family with some of the stuff that we see and deal with.
It's the vicarious trauma, that just rubs off subconsciously building.
Yeah. And we don't speak about it just because it's one of those things where no one else is going to understand. Only other police officers understand because they've been through something similar. And if you haven't, you will. And that's, we just know that. Yeah.
Heavy topic.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And that's why a lot of people don't. They join the police not knowing what they're actually getting into. And they end up leaving. And it doesn't take long. It doesn't take long for things to catch up to you. And that's why I'm fortunate to have martial arts as an outlet. Because to be honest, if I didn't have martial arts, I don't know where like my headspace would be.
And I like the fact that you're so open and honest about it. You know, you very vocal towards, you know, your teammates and friends, and I've noticed that too.
Yeah.
Because the infamous Ethan Shep once upon a time said, a problem shared is a problem halved.
Is that where it came from?
Ethan Shep.
Okay, I'll remember that. Because I've told people that I've gone, Armin Schmidt told me.
No credit for that. I always say it comes from him when I get the chance. But yes. He, I don't know, it was like a classic like sauna conversation after training. You know, I was fortunate to sit there in the sauna with him, you know, do some recovery, and he shared some wisdom around life.
Yeah.
And that's something that he dropped on me, and I was like, he's so right. And he spoke openly about like some of his, you know, we all go through some struggles, family, whatever it might be, you know, like, and he finished the conversation off with that. So I was like, wow, that's something to keep in mind that I will never ever forget. Similar to if you just go through it and there's no one to celebrate the victory with, like, why are you doing it? Like, who's it for? I mean, essentially you do it for yourself. But if it's shared, you know, of course, like there's something in this for you, for myself, you know. People listen to the conversation maybe about like mental health or stuff that we address, and like it gets them talking with their friends, you know, and it takes some load off of them. Yeah. Because at this point, sorry, like we're gonna stir into I was about to say a bit more positive direction from now, unless you have something else to add on. But it is all part of life, and it needs to be discussed, and it needs to be, normalized as a conversation is on the table. I'm afraid of this. I have fears here. How do you feel about this? What are your, tools and to operate with this? Excuse me. How can we all stay at an even keel? Because just recently, within the last few weeks, we lost someone at mixed martial arts to mental health issues, and he decided, he made a decision on his life, and a lot of people, for his tangi, for his funeral, showed up from, of course, different other like friendship groups, but also from, core mixed martial arts or House of Pain, and calisthenics, and there's so many different groups that work under the same roof, but everyone came together, and we had some beautiful conversations on that day, on how you're feeling about it. Man, I'm going through this. Like, my friends going, okay, like, what can we do to support this person? Just wanted to say, may he rest in love, not in peace, or in peace, however you want to phrase this, and just give him a moment. Also with the Mental Health Awareness Week next week, make sure you put your things in place and, do your research. And there's so many little things that you can do just to reach out, have a conversation, talk to someone, because it is a topic that we're all involved in and that affects all of us. And I'm happy that we spoke about this today. Yeah. But I just wanted to acknowledge him quickly. I'm not going to say his name. The people who know. But on the topic of social media and the impact with the mental health and whatnot, and impact and influence, is there anything else that you would like to touch base on?
No, or I think it's just speak up. Don't be afraid. You don't know if someone else is going through the same thing or something similar. So being open and honest about these conversations, like if they're your friends, they'll be there for you, and if they're not, then they're not the kind of people you need in your life. And then you'll go and make new friends. Yeah. But yeah, like I've always said to all of my friends that I'm always going to be there. I don't care what time it is, message, call. I don't care. That's why you're the captain. Because we've all gone through something that's been hard, but we've all come out the other side,
Okay, let's leave it at that. There's probably more time that we could spend on it. And matter of fact, we will have a lot more time to speak on that and certain other topics, because we talked about impact. That was more, of course, in a negative way, because it affects you, it gets you thinking, you get maybe depressed, have some mental health, whatever, there's different tools, people, lines that you can call friends out there. But what we are trying to do by 2026 is probably we will utilize, social media, hopefully, for a good cause. Because what are we about to do? Yeah, well, where do we start? Where do we start? We've got the charity event that we're going to be doing on February the 14th, 2026. Where? In Hamilton, Kirikiriroa. At the lake? At the lake, yeah. So we did one earlier. Was it last year? I think it was last year. I think it was last year. Now, I'm struggling to put this together now myself, because I was like, But can I give context quick? Yes, I give context quick. Just to build it up, and then you can take it from there. So context is the following: that in last year, I think it was, with another charity that I've been involved in. Matter of fact, I'm the co-founder. How that sounds, yeah. Anywho, we've been doing some environmental stuff, creating some awareness there, but we've been branching out into other areas. Long story short, last year we decided to do a 75-kilometer run for the chronic fatigue syndrome, because one of my friends in Germany suffers from it. And I'm the co-founder, which means there's another founder of the charity that I run. He did the same event in Germany. We did it here in New Zealand. I put the word out, who wants to come and run 75 kilometers with me, which is 20 laps around the lake. You jumped on board, crazy enough, Tim, you're part of it as well. And, you spend a lot of time talking, connecting, deepening the friendship. empowering each other, going through. There was a lot of other people that helped us on the day, thanks to them. But, you know, like going further, you know, like the conversation started again. What else can we do? And I've done some things in between. Long story short, we decided to do, shall we do another run? Shall we do something else? Like what is applicable? What are we all keen on? Pretty much the same crew. And then we initially decided on hospice.
Yeah.
And everyone was on board, like straight away. I had some, with the charity back home, we worked with the hospice back home, you know, like collecting funds, and some family members went through it. You were all about it because you've done some mahi with them too here, and you involved in some charity projects too, Tim. And then you came around the corner, and it made, the moment you said it, I was like, this makes so much sense. Of course, you proposed the following idea. Here we go. Sorry, there's a long build up, but I think it's necessary to understand it.
Yeah, so obviously you were right. We initially agreed on hospice, but I was looking through our group chat, and we're all martial artists, or we have a connection to martial arts in some way, and it got me thinking the Walk Without Fear Trust, and it's being predominantly pushed by the City Kickboxing up in Auckland. They're the ones that are kind of promoting it, and I thought, why not that? It needs more awareness around the trust. And for those that don't know, it's about the coward punch. You know, the punishment that comes with it doesn't necessarily fit the crime, and I think it's a life-changing offence. One punch can kill. Destroys families, you know, and this all started from an aspiring whānau that was the victim. He was the victim of a coward punch, you know, and that pain's still relevant now. It happened a couple of years ago, but it still resonates through everyone, and so why wouldn't we do something for that, knowing that we have that connection to martial arts? Create more awareness around it, and because initially, like, for me personally, I wanted something bigger. You know, we did the 75 Ks at the lake. I wanted something bigger, but
You said 100.
the 100, I said 100 Ks, but
It's an interesting shift. Yeah, I know where you're going with this.
But then you brought it back to the Walk Without Fear. You know, walking, it just made sense, and I really loved the concept, and so we put it to them, and they were on board with it too, which was a big blessing. You know, being able to be a part of something that's bigger than ourselves.
Yes,
and
bringing the martial arts community together. You know, we are all connected through it, and it's going to be a 24-hour walk constantly around the lake, which will end up being 100 kilometers regardless.
Yeah.
But I think where I was like, man, I think we need to slow this down from like running to walking, because it's the Walk Without Fear, and it's so much more accessible for everyone, you know, like the kids from the kids classes can like join. Someone that is a little bit older, like so many people reached out afterwards saying like, I'm gonna come because I can't do this. Like everyone can most likely like run, or even if you are, for whatever reason, on that day on crutches in a wheelchair, like let's hope that's not the case, but you can be wheeled around, you know, the lake, just to be part of it, you know. It's going to be something incredible, because, you know, it's the city kickboxing team, core mixed martial arts, there's going to be people from Riverside Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Nabby's boxing, you know. And of course, you know, there is, I guess, if you look at the competitive side of things, there is certain rivalries and, you know, like people competing amongst each other and whatnot. However, on that day, and this is the spirit of martial arts, is, you know, like bringing people together. And there's not, and I'm going to give a shout out to Johnny Rickard from the refinery out in Whangaroa. He was another inspiring person that said once upon a time, and it really stuck with me till this day and will never change, it's not about the kicks and punches and you know, in the mixed martial arts sense, the chokes or like the locks or whatever it might be. It's not about that, you know. It's about bringing people together, having them to connect. And of course, you can still the next weekend go and compete in a, you know, you're a sports woman, man, whatever, you know, like it's fair play. Then it's on again. But on that day, the goal is to bring everyone together for that common goal, to not lose another person, you know, through such an incident, or at least have like a consequence and punishment in place to prevent it from happening, from people to actually be like, I shouldn't be doing this, because there will be, I will be sentenced with like whatever the consequences will be, you know, because it needs to stop, you know. That ruined the whole, like, as you said, you know, like it's not one person, it's all, there's a family behind, children, whatever it might be. I was hit with one once before, once upon a time, you know, and that was like, I don't even know, like maybe that left some who knows. I think I'm still articulating myself well, you know. I don't want to make this or put this into a funny context, because, you know, like I was bleeding, my nose was probably broken and whatnot, but I was like, I didn't do anything wrong in that moment. I was sitting, turning, matter of fact, like reaching for water to give to that person because they seemed like they needed support, and I got hit with it. So there is, you with work, you know, like there's most likely, well, it's up to you if you want to say, but just wanted to give some context why we do it and why we all agreed on it. And I'm so thankful. Thank you that you made that call, honestly, because it makes all the difference in the world. Like that makes so much sense. Yeah. Back to you.
Yeah, no, so I'm really looking forward to it, you know. I can't wait to start getting the ball rolling, using social media, getting the message out and letting, you know, not just Hamilton know, but anyone else that wants to come in. It's an open invite, you know. You don't have to do martial arts. It's just, this is our community that we're going to bring together, and why not share that with everyone as well?
Exactly.
You know, people might have questions about it as we're walking around. They might say, "Oh, why did you start?"
Well, we've got 24 hours to answer.
Exactly. We've got a long time to answer, and I'm sure there'll be curious people out there that want to know what disciplines we do and all that sort of thing. Where do we train? What time? Like,
Oh, do you want to come along for training? Let's try this.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
it's gonna be amazing, because it's not about that. You know, it's about bringing people together and connecting.
Yeah, and like with the trust, they've got, you know, UFC stars like Carlos Olberg, Navajo Sterling, Israel Adesanya. You know, all the big names now are on board with it, and so for us to be able to push something that they're a part of as well, it's special.
Yeah, it's good that we got the consent, and you know, after this, well, today marks, you know, is that we have this conversation that we agreed on making a part of, you know, the podcast, and then we're gonna do some recordings afterwards to finally release the date, like officially. You know, we teased it before, but to have something like set in stone, similar, you know, to your planning for your family, that we can work towards to. Yeah. Because then it is our accountability to be consistent with like, you know, posting what is happening on the day. How can you, if you need to sign up, whatever we decide to do. But the best thing about it is the concept is so easy. You cannot not understand it. You just show up on the day, on that time, and we're gonna walk for 24 hours. There will be a little catering booth, you get some coffee, some food, whatever you need, it's going to be there, and then it's like lap after lap after lap after lap. Lots of conversation, which will always and also help with mental health and making new friendships and sharing things that we all suffered from. It's an absolute no-brainer, and I was about to say, I hope, there's no hope needed here. Like, it will be an absolutely amazing event, because we have the right people.
Everyone will walk away and they'll be like, if you're in the game, that little like PlayStation achievement thing, 24 hours walk. You know? Like, how many people are ever going to do that in their life?
And here's something else that I wanted your reaction, like in a spontaneous manner. I didn't want to tell you beforehand, but my idea was, because I don't think it's a huge effort, and it doesn't need to be 24 hours each year, but I think it would be awesome to have it as an annual event. Doesn't always have to be at the lake. Can be in any city. Maybe it's been passed on from, like, this time it's Core MMA / House of Pain organizing it. Next year it moves to Tamaki Makoro, to City Kickboxing, and they will organize, you know, and we show up as like guests. That was my follow-up proposal to you, that I think would be awesome to release out there and see how people perceive it.
Yeah, no, I love that idea, you know.
Because then it becomes continuous.
Yeah, exactly. and it gets us around, gets us meeting different people, you know. Someone might not have been able to come to this one, but they wanted to be a part of it. But if we move it to Auckland, you know, the opportunity's endless. Everyone can get involved at some point. So yeah, no, I love the idea. I'm definitely on board with it. I was thinking about like having it annually just here, but
that's why we speak the same language.
Yeah. Yeah, so no, I love the idea of moving it around too.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Anything else on that event that you want to share, or is there anything that I forgot about?
No, I'm just excited. February 14th, get down there, get down to the Hamilton Lake.
We're going to release like the proper, the time and, you know, location and where to find us, but it's going to be very straightforward. There's going to be lots of parking, and something I haven't told you as well. I spoke to someone from the Hamilton City Council. They are happy to support us with.
Oh, awesome.
You know, like maybe even having not just the parking lot there accessible, but, you know, there's the grass area that you can open up and...
Okay.
Nice. You think I'm just sleeping?
It's just you're always like, I'm not running the show, and then you're like, by the way, I've organised all this stuff.
Nah, man.
The man in the shadows, eh?
Yeah.
It is important, you know, like you have to take leadership on certain aspects, but it's evenly distributed. You know, you bring your expertise and wisdom in. I know what I'm good at and what I can do, and I'm happily doing so, you know.
Yeah,
You are the captain of this. I'm just running in the shadows, like you said, but, you know, you're the boss here, and I'm happy to obey. And, you know, it's going to be all of us regardless, you know. We're going to show up on the day. Yeah. But there's, I guess from this point, we're going to go to... There's usually a question that you can ask us or bring like a topic up, but you already asked me the question, which is why did you want me on this podcast today? Like, you say, Armin, why me?
Yeah, well,
but I think throughout the whole conversation, I was almost self-explanatory. But please.
Yeah, no, that was always like from the get-go. Like I know we had planned it a while ago, but then for me it was like, oh no, he's forgotten. But then when you messaged me asking me if I wanted to, my first thought was why me? So yeah.
40th anniversary too, 30.
Yeah, wow.
And I was even I won't lie to you, you know, like I was like 30. Is this like I was thinking about like leaving this. We go to 30. I've done enough. We've done 30 episodes. It's so much work that goes into it. Yeah. Tim knows. Tim knows. With briefing, preparing, like organizing dates, like we're not just sitting down randomly, you know. You know about the process and whatnot. For him, you know, to do the editing, the releasing, the writing. But I don't know, like I was even close to be like, today is the final one, and I don't know if I want to take this further, but there's so much more to do, to say, to have like a positive impact with the media, you know. And I think this is what we're trying to do. This is our message here, you know. We want to bring people like you who, and this is why I brought you on, more in particular with, you know, we have had some very interesting guests, people that I resonate with, people that have something to say, that are interesting in whatever form or shape. But mate, I respect you and the values that we share from the moment I have met you, that you cannot deny on. Is that the way you say it? You cannot deny on? You cannot deny? You get my point of view. From it's an intuition, you know. Like we trained with each other. You never beat me up. You could have. You never did. Vice versa. You asked me for some stuff. We have good conversations. Sometimes, you know, you're busy with family. You showed up for that run, which I will never ever forget. You know, like you were there. A lot of other people say they would, didn't come. You were there. You know, like we got to know each other over a certain period of time plus. Knowing that someone else does like some type of martial art, you know, like the achievements aside, you know, like just seeing them like turning up at the gym on a consistent basis. Michael the Machine Isaac, for example, I can sit there at Core MMA finishing a session. I can be like, in the next 20 minutes, he walks into the door and he walks into the door. And that's something that we don't need to talk about. He respects me for being there and vice versa. You know, he fights championship level. That's a different story. But I feel like that's a thing between martial artists or like maybe athletes. I don't know, that goes beyond words. Because I know that you're there I might train a different discipline that night, but I know that you are, putting your effort into it. Plus, I know all the stuff around it as well. Today, I got to know much more even, Like, imagine just for you to be there for one session, let alone to go for like a training camp, to then compete at the highest level. Amazing. The way you conduct yourself, speak about your job. I mean, you're policeman, like you serve your community, You lead the team there at Core House of Pain, Mixed Martial Arts, Core MMA, House of Pain, sorry. The other way around, can't be denied, So that's why.
Yeah. No, it was a privilege for me to read that message, and I'm one to, I don't like saying I'll do something and not do it, which is why I showed up. Like running isn't my forte, but I said I'd do it.
And you dogged through, didn't you? Bloody socks and everything.
Yeah.
Into the shadow realm.
Yeah. Well, everyone goes into dark places. That was one of the times, and we pulled through. So
had some good food. Started early in the morning. No, it was amazing. That's something for the books that you never forget. I never forget.
Yeah. And to be honest, there's no way I'd ever.
Funny that I think about this again now, but I think Michael the Machine Isaac. Here we go again. You get the full name. Stand out in Aotearoa, New Zealand and Australasia, and now like branching out. He was getting ready for a title. Was that? I'm not quite sure. He was in training camp. He didn't run, but he came.
Yeah.
Just to hang out for like a lap or two. And there was many other people, that did the same thing.
Yeah.
Just came, dropped something off. But it's moments like that where you just know that there's something in that person, that there's code of conduct, how they, a certain level of respect. I don't know, this is what it comes down to, You see me for what I do, and I definitely see you for what you do, and this is why we sit here today. And I think you can live with that answer.
Yeah, no, I can.
Yeah, you're right.
I can.
Oh my God.
Episode 30, man.
Episode 30. Yeah. We're coming to an end. Well, if you need any media support, Tim Stevens.
Good job.
Yep.
Reach out, Instagram.
Yeah, drop me a follow. It'll be handy.
Drop him a follow, send him a DM. Anything goes. Do you want to come on board here and like say a few things, or would that be it?
No, actually, I think we're pretty good. Just trying to grow the account, trying to grow the channel. Appreciate any likes, any comments, any support. It goes a long way.
Constructive feedback?
Maybe not.
Keep doing you.
I'll figure it out.
You figure it out, man. Keep doing you. Anything on that note? Anything we left out? Anything that you want to bring to our attention? You can do that part.
Yeah.
Anything?
No, it's just this was a long time coming, obviously, and yeah, I think I love that you guys have created a space where you're getting different people. It's not just your everyday like martial artist, or like you're getting different people involved, which I guess creates a bigger community, wider reach. So I love what you guys are doing here. Like I listen to the podcast and I'm like, that's cool. Like I love that it's not like the direction that you take these conversations. It's not just a straightforward thing. There's always like a little subtopic that gets delved into, and like you'd be none the wiser if you just looked at someone. And yeah, no, I love what you guys are doing, and it's a privilege to be here.
No, it's our privilege. Hold your thoughts for the outro. If there's any people that you want to thank, shout outs, sponsors, X, Y, Z, whatever you want to do. Do you want to come in quickly and speak about?
So I didn't want to come on camera for myself, but something different about this particular set. Ooh, cracking knees. Troy Hillard at the Right Group kindly lent us the space to use and record in, which has gone a huge distance for us. So thank you, Troy. And if you guys don't know what the Right Group is, go to my Instagram page, and there's a link. You'll learn about the business and the amazing work they do across the entire country and Australia.
Thank you, Timothy.
Welcome.
You've got the curtains now, mate. That's us.
Oh.
Shout outs, thanks.
I guess like my main shout out is to the wife, Cressida Tamati Tapaki.
Thank you for letting him be here today.
Yeah, thank you for letting me be here and for everything that you do behind the scenes. Like our job, you know, being a wife to me is a thankless job sometimes. You know, when I'm in camp, everything's about me. And then sometimes I do get absorbed into that. And so times like these where I'm not in camp, I have clarity. And so, yeah, in a sense, like it's another blessing for me. Because I couldn't do this with the amount of kids that I have. I wouldn't be able to do what I love the way I do it if it wasn't for her. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, friends, family, you know, everyone that's important to me knows that I appreciate them and that I'm thankful to have them in my life. It's just like you guys. Real thankful to have them. And that, like, sponsors, they come and go. But yeah, friends, family, they stay.
That's why you're here today, mate.
Dropping all the hot lines.
Yeah. So yeah,
That us?
that's us.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you, brother.